Good evening, FFR. We are back with this week's podcast of the Duck Rally, our weekly async race tournament for our newcomers, or ducks as we like to call them. And we'll be joined today by one of the runners, Scar,
Hello.
and we will be watching, as I said, the top four perspectives. So that also includes Rax, Macklin, and Franklin, one of the newer ducks around here. So, what is this week about? This is a flag set called Mage Matcher, which is mostly all about doing the weird stuff with magic. So, for instance, we have our melee classes, the Thief and the Fighter, both have their permissions swapped with flags we call White Ninja and Black Knight. And the Red Mage will actually be a Pink Mage, so while the usual Red Mage is pretty good at black magic and knows a tiny bit of white. This time to be the other way around, knowing a bit, quite a bit of white magic and a tiny bit of black, which can kind of change the dynamic for team comps. And the other big thing is all the incentives are set to random within their dungeon, with the ones in Earth and Sky being locked behind the respective key item for the dungeons, sort of right in the cube. Now, looking at these teams, we've got mostly meta comps. Well, these are all really just the meta comp of the fighter, black, and either white or red. So, actually, can we have the blessings? Usually the trackers have them pulled up.
Well, while we're getting the blessings, I appreciate that Rax is bucking the mold here and completely ignoring the idea of the pink mage, going white black for this party. I'm trying to remember what made the white mage stand out over the red mage in this seed.
Well, okay, I've gone ahead and Dark Moon, our restreamer, is going ahead and putting up the blessings in chat. So one thing that stands out is that this thief is amazing with 8 HP and 5 resists, and the kind of thief that would have made me really consider just skipping the fighter, going with the thief carry. Aside from that, this red mage has fast and 2 level 1 MP. The white mage has equip axes and resists to ice, time, and poison. And the black mage, 20 strength, resists fire, time, and ice. So yeah, I can see why that plus haste is making people lean toward the red mage overall.
Yeah,
But
getting the most important black magic spell, which is fast. Kind of alleviates the worry that you won't get it on somebody who can't learn all of the black magic. I think if this were the regular ninja where they learned black magic, the go-to would have been like Thief Rainbow. But because it's White Ninja and Black Knight, the Thief doesn't get access to buffing themselves, and it's a little better to take a fighter, I think. I think either the Moss Moon or the Excalibur was incentivized.
it's just Massa and Ribbon.
Yeah,
As I said, mostly the incentives are the same as the beginner preset, just random within the dungeons. Anyway, with all that preamble about the flag set and the parties, I think it's about time to start the podcast. So now we see all of our runners instantly entering Cornelia, obviously. First check, as usual, is magic. I see a sweeper in black with lead 2 and A3 in white, so this white mage will not be doing damage yet. But we've still got the essentials covered, plus luck too, an excellent spell on those last couple boss fights where evasion might be rolling extremely high. We also got a hint that the Massa, which rolled +4, which is a really good sword, making lots of damage, even more than usual, has landed on Matoya. So if you do find another good sword and don't have the crystal when you're in go mode, you might just consider not going for that crystal. Now Scar is checking the 3 boxes in Tove, while Rex is going straight to Garland.
Yeah, the level 1 party can usually take down Garland, but if there's XP available in those first 3 chests in Topher, it's a big boon to any party. Everyone wants XP. Everyone wants levels.
I would argue that sometimes the encounters in Tove can be more dangerous than Garland himself, but that's not that big of a factor for a dungeon that's this short. You're just you've got to save right outside. Anyway, Garland goes down very easily for everyone, which is pretty much the usual. Rex beeline straight to Provoker, hitting the pirate fight at 2 minutes, which is about the standard timing. I remember Shroom telling me at one point that a standard you have to go for in most flag sets is to be done with the pirates by 3 minutes. And there's the ship in its vanilla location.
Yeah, with just early open for the settings, that's very typical for that particular item to be vanilla. Because you kind of need it to go anywhere else, and they don't like putting on the king or princess for some reason. Harm 4 on level 2, big for the white mage and Rax's party. Fire 3 also very keen.
Yes, Fire 3 does kind of follow for the more late game dungeons where it's surprisingly common resistance, but early on when you're likely to be diving stuff like Marsh or, well, maybe not Earth yet when you don't have the rod, of course, or even Ice Cave, can be very handy. We get hint that the tail is in floor 2 northeast of Sea Shrine, which, well, the way the random position for the sea incentive was done in this flag set was to make it random locked. There is exactly one locked chest in Sea Shrine. It's actually known as that fulfilling chest. That's definitely what the F stands for.
I disagree, but I don't think I'm allowed to say what it actually stands for.
Oh, come on.
It does typically put Sea Shrine later into Logic, which, if you're designing a flag set for newer players, is a good idea. The encounters in Sea Shrine are brutal. Lobsters,
Indeed.
ghosts, all very
Waters.
nasty. Waters, I hate waters.
I think most of us have learned to hate those, yes. Anyway, I see some big stuff in Black Magic. There was Fast at level 3 and Temper at 4. And I think Quadex was in there too.
Yep, Quadex on level 3. The power word threshold in this flag set is the vanilla 300 hit points, so it takes some real counting to get a hold of who's going to be where. But the HP scaling favors its use. a little lower than normal for bosses. They have an HP scaling of 50% to 130%, so they're actually going to have a little less than their vanilla HP on average.
I see a fairly unusual play on Franklin side, taking a short grind on the sea, probably to afford the spells from Elfland. That's not the most common approach to those, when usually you can just go kill Astos or go do one dungeon and leave the Elfland visit for a bit later, but that's another way to get the job done, though that's still not a lot of money. My usual benchmark for Elfland is to have 5,000 gold per mage.
And sometimes that's not even enough. With up to 250% scaling, spells can sneak up on you in price.
Oh, they can, yes. Ooh, white magic is also pretty great in here. I did notice that life is in slot 2, which usually is bad news, but in this flag set, nope, big mage.
Yeah, I think in this particular seed, most, if not all, of the good white magic spells that the red mage is able to learn are landing in slots where they might not normally be able to learn it. The Life 2 and Lamp, I think 1 and 3 for 4 are normally learnable.
So now, 3 of our runners are in Marsh. Everyone is making the play of checking the attic first, which makes sense. You don't have telemagic, so if the initiative item is in there, that's just the shortest trip to make. I see that Scar, you decided to just take the workout, while the other two have reset out when they saw that these chests were dots.
Yeah, a pro ring can be a good idea. I figured it was just enough to take. And you're going to get a couple, maybe I got a level down there from an encounter where I queued up a sweeper instead of running on one of the mages.
Fair enough.
The red mage has abysmal luck, so with black mage, red mage, I was taking to running and casting a sweeper. Running with the black mage, who's got good starting luck, and casting a sweeper with the red mage, who isn't going to run away anyways.
Yes. And with that, the Rax and Maclean have both found the canal, which is in the first box of Marsh Bottom, and they are also taking those 2 chests to the right before leaving, which
So in the normal, usual counterclockwise loot pattern, that's the first chest of Marsh. But if you loot it wrong, like I do, it'll be the last.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I've been looting Topher like that, or not Topher, Marsh like that, because in flag sets with unrunnable encounters, the unrunnables in Marsh can be rather nasty, and if I wipe out, knowing what's in that top right box, which is kind of the farthest away from the other boxes, is good information to have.
So anyway, thinking on the logic, a lot of the key items we've got right now are turn-ins that either we've already checked or stuff for after we get the floater, especially the battle and the cube. So right now with the canal open, that leaves one location to go, and that's Crescent Lake. Since in Earth the incentive is post-route, so thank goodness we don't have to double dip that.
The chests, 3 of the chests on Marsh Top are linked to chests on Marsh 2, right?
Indeed. Well, no, it's just 2 of them, since that's just the 2 chests that are in there, and they are both chests in the bottom room. So I believe the one on the left is linked with that tiny room you walk by, like the one Franklin is going around right as I'm speaking. And the other one is in that chest that is very far out of the way, that I remember had the floater in one the co-op seed this summer. I'm sure
Yeah,
the
those
runners
link
have not lived that down.
those link chests are a menace on floor shuffle flag sets.
Yes. When see Rex having some trouble with the Kaizokus, which turns out have trends. If you have enough save items, it can be an excellent idea to just learn the encounter pattern on the sea, which with the different speed and the low encounter rate will be something you have to memorize separately from the other, just so you can kind of anticipate these encounters. And even if you don't, it can be nice to just save frequently, so you can just reset out of a bad sea encounter like that. And there's the canoe again in its vanilla location.
You know, if random is to mean unexpected, you're not expecting it to be where it originally is.
Absolutely. The last place you think to check.
Last place anybody wants to check, really. It's so far out of the way for just one check.
Well, it's far out of the way, but it's in a pretty good spot to access all the places that it opens up. Because you can either go north to the Rift Dock, which is the best place from which to access both volcano and ice, or you can, well, it's still not that close to all these, but it's kind of there. At least it's not in the inner sea.
I'm 90% sure it's still faster, like from Crescent to Ordeals is faster than Crescent to Ice.
Possibly, and I think that's the play Rax is making right now.
It's a good play. I appreciate the play. I also dislike Ice Cave, so I'm biased in that regard. Oh, wait, where is... Oh, he's just going a roundabout way. Taking a different route.
Yes, it takes quite a bit of experience to just burn all of these ship routes into your muscle memory. So now
Yeah, I'm
Rex
still
is
checking the map all the time, and I think even the top runners are checking the map all the time, because when you're out in the middle of the sea, it's very easy to get lost.
thinking of one time I had left for so long without seeing any land, and I pulled up my map and I looped around the world at least once without seeing any land because I was just in that wrong Y position.
I guarantee you everybody's done that. And if they say they haven't done that, they're wrong.
Anyway, it looks like it was a bit late to call out for the guesses on the ODS pillar because it was pillar 2, as Rex found out.
Notably, Mechlin has headed down to the ice cave, looking for that random incentive. Without warp, it's a little annoying. Like without warp, the last place you want that chest to be is the vanilla chest. But wrong eye, I believe that's Phantom.
Yep. And looks like the ordeal incentive was the TNT. A bit of an annoying place to turn that in.
Oh, with canoe in hand, it's not terrible because you just go straight north and
Yes, that's fair.
use the rivers over by Northwest Castle.
So with that, Rax went right in and right back out of all these. I did not see a lot of walking grind in there. And going back to the Elfland item shop, was the incentive in there? No, it was not. It was just to stock up on tents. Wise decision. Or maybe they bought a bit too much and can't afford both Cure 4 and Life 2. I did not follow what strats they already had on the White Mage.
Might have been that they only had enough for one initially and came back for the Cure 4 when they had a little bit more cash on hand.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you do not go to Elfland just for the item shop. That's one of the worst placed for towns.
Ooh, Rax is holding off on turning in the TNT and going to see if he can save a dip by getting adamant first. This is a nice gamble. It's something I've seen a lot in other randomizers where people will hold off on certain turn-ins until they get the item that lets them only visit a place once.
Yes, that's a very common play in FFR indeed. And the rod in the second last chest of ice. So now the question is, do you go where that's telling you to go and try to go through Earth? Or do you think you're confident enough that you can go through Volcano and take on Carry? Well, Volcano is something you can just put up for last alternatively, since there are no incentives in there. This flag set, that's right. Ooh, and
Yeah, there's
Scar.
no incentive, no loose. That TNT turned into the floater. I felt great about that. Gonna be honest.
Yes, I can imagine. So naturally, once you've got that, you're going straight to the Vukan Desert.
And on your point about routing after receiving the rod, I think because floater is required anyways, because there aren't any northern docks, it's better to hold off on carry unless you need to loot the volcano armory for something. And without this being a shard hunt, that something is nothing.
Are you sure it's like shot hunt?
This isn't a shard hunt, right?
It's not. Okay. Anyway, I see McLean has decided to go straight to Earth, which, well, as we both know with our hindsight of watching all these runs, the right play was Ordis, which leads into the floater, though, of course, all they have to go by is what they are seeing as they play, so they had no way to know that where the floater was.
Also notable is that the shop item is the ruby in Gaia, which is floater locked, which means that the ruby that's just saving our runners some money this run.
So now with the crystal in hand, you go turn that into Metoya, getting that Master Moon that was hinted way back at the start of the seed. So now you got the floater, you've got the best sword for an unpromoted fighter. You can pretty much go wherever is not locked by some key item you don't have.
Yeah, and the goal is to not go to ice at all. Except, I think, at this point, I would have found both of the incentive equipment items, and so no, it goes into the bag here that you eventually have to do ice, and it sucks.
Rex is also doing the TNT turn-in, though a bit later than you, mostly due to having gone through ice. While Macklin and Franklin are both heading into Earth. And I see Macklin did find the Earth incentive on the post-rod floor, which was the adamant, so maybe they will find the TNT and be able to get both Dwarf Cave turn-ins at once.
Hopefully, because they know from... At least one runner knows from hints. I saw Franklin check the hint. The Canoe Sage hint was that the adamant turns into the loot, and the loot being a terminal key item, it can't lead to another key item. You hold off on turning that in until you have the TNT.
Anyway, I did not comment on boss fight in Earth because, as we all know, Earth Cave doesn't have a boss fight. How sad.
Just a bit of a speed bump at the end there. Until that speed bump has Blaze. And these FR Wolves are not a bad idea with Fire 3 on lock. They're a nice bit of early XP, and if you know it'll give you a level or two, it's a safe bet to take them, especially with Fire 3 at such an early level.
So now I see that with all your key items turned in, you found yourself in a precarious situation where the only place you had left to go for an incentive was Waterfall, despite not having the Oxia. So that would be a forced double dip, unless the Oxia lands in there.
Yeah, that's fine. I love the waterfall. The robot's my homie. I'll pay him a visit whenever. No idea what I wanted from those chests.
At this point, when you've got pretty much the best sword you could be hoping for, like the X-Cal being the only other sword that could be of some relevance at this point. And I did not see what kind of armor you were on.
Chain +5. And that. Bought some in Elf. I like chain armor. It's cheap. It's probably the most efficient armor as far as armor per coin.
Alright, I didn't miss that you did not go to ice first. So... Anyway, the lack of telemagic is really showing in this seed.
Yeah, it's rough whenever the teleport magic is late.
Do you remember how late it was exactly? I did not really pay that much attention to the
I don't
higher
think I
magic.
got it.
Well, to be fair, one thing I did notice about these flags is a combination of the early high-level spells. So giving your casters a much lower level requirement for getting those higher spells, like your first level 8 spell charge being at level 20 instead of 25, for instance. And secondly, that all the mages have 1.2 times experience gain. So, of course, you wouldn't be able to cast those in the early game, but unlike usual, a spell that ends at level 8 will not be quite unusable forever.
Yeah, though you do still need to promote to learn the spell.
Naturally,
And
yeah.
and with the incentivized Masamune also incentivizes not promoting, because if it rolls actually if it rolls anything, the Masa is such a good sword that it does not matter what it rolls. You can just carry that thing to chaos in these flags. The scaling is very low and you don't have to worry about too much shenanigans.
That's fair, especially since in this party the only thing you would get from higher level magic is better sweepers, since I don't remember seeing a nuke early. And for the late game bosses, you've got fast, you've got tempo. That's pretty much all you need.
Now Rax faces speed bump. A strange collection of pixels. Very beautiful collection of pixels if you appreciate the art, which I do. And it's gone. Unfortunate. Well, fortunate for Rax. He gets credit for an orb.
How nice of the devs to give you a break at the end of the dungeon to just look at some pixel art and relax. Imagine if that was a fight.
Oh, Rax receives his xylophone.
Now McLean is approaching what I like to call the bad news shops. And finds the incentive ruby. Yes, basta.
I'm glad I ate before this.
Has to sell some caster gear just to be able to afford the pasta. That must be some really good pasta. Still a tiny bit short. That will helmet out to do the trick.
Oh, are they purchasing it for to increase the XP scaling? Because with floater in hands, the ruby is unnecessary because Titan's Trove is not incentivized.
You know, it's a bit late here, and it's just now hitting me that, yeah, it's maybe not that important at this stage to have the ruby. And yeah, we've got confirmation from McLean in chat that they just made a mistake.
You know what? That's fair. It's not like a wholly detrimental mistake. Cause like, what else are you going to be buying at this stage in the seed? You probably have enough camping gear for the rest of the seed because you're not really walking everywhere. Bottle item is the slab.
Anyway, at this point you were following the chain of logic of everything you can get without going to ice, which leads you to sky. You are unfortunately looting all of floor 2 because random incentive.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if so. It was hinted. I know that going in, that this is the Oxyel up here, but I forgot what floor the hint was on. So I could have skipped floor 1 and just looted floor 2 here.
Fairly
also, floor
commonplace
2 sucks.
to just run through floor 2 and loot floor 3 first, since it has a much higher density. Like all the chests are just across 3 rooms. And then if you do not find it, then you go back for the second floor. There's the X car. Of course, with that.
-3.
Well, a bad X-Cal is still an X-Cal. That plus 30 attack boost from the elemental bonus is no joke.
Yeah, and stats are low enough that you don't need the crit rate. Hopefully. I think an XCal -3 has +1 crit rate. It's great.
Yes, I believe so. It's tied with the vast majority of swords for its crit rate. With the Massa being one of the few that gets slightly above that at Vanilla 10. Well, at least an intended Vanilla 10. Because, bugs. It's here.
Coding is hard.
Sounds like it, yeah. So now, you find yourself on the Bridge of Destiny. I feel like I'm a text adventure game when I say that. So now, here come all the buffs on the fighter for Tia, which with that Massa should not last too long. Two temper charges on the fighter and some banes, just for kicks, and for potentially saving time, of course. And yes, Jason pointed out the Trans Kaizoku. Often when there's something like that in the seed, I call it a running gag. Just one encounter that's everywhere and that keeps just ruining your day. And Rex found himself behind the quarterback in Lefane. Especially unfortunate when you do not have access to telemagic. There's Fade at level 7 for that white mage, for a slight upgrade over Fade, but not getting that many casts of it, given that it's, level 7. As you mentioned, Warp is super late, it's in level 7, the kind you can also get in on rack, but who checks on rack without having the Oxyal?
Who checks on rack? I don't go into those magic shops. I would advise, unless you know you're gonna achieve the levels, I would advise against checking the magic shops in on rack, just as a matter of principle.
Level 7 is something you usually have a couple charges on when you enter Topher. But yeah, that's definitely a fair principle to stand by. So anyway, now the rest of the production is pretty straightforward from what we know, because the chain from ice is the rod into what was it?
Adamant into loot.
Yes, that's it. And the chain from waterfall that's currently going through sky and that you took a break from to go to ice is leading you into C with that Oxiel, which was on floor 2 of Sky. And in there will be, I think the tail is the only thing left to get as an incentive.
Yeah, and with the Masamune at +4 and no really good armors or promo-locked weapons popping up for anyone, it's
Yeah, you'll
looking like it's
just be
going to go
going,
uncollected.
you'll just go straight for Kraken. Yeah. And I see Rax having the experience of taking an Agama grind with no good magic, so just having the fighter swing and everyone else just punch since they have nothing to do with that turn. Personally, I would see if they have some useless item to hold up, since that's slightly faster animation-wise than punching.
It's faster animation-wise, but if you don't know exactly where it is, but I think if it's not in the first slot of a character's inventory, it might not be faster menuing-wise. Just holding A here is probably fine.
Given the lack of healing, they're probably trying to dent the Black Mage to make that process go a tiny bit faster. But they have hit level 20, and yeah, I agree with them, that's all the XP they'll ever need. Well, it's 20 on the Mages, 18 on the Thief. The rest will probably come on their own from well, 18 on the Thief and the Fighter, right, there's a Fighter. But yeah, the rest will probably come on its own from just the Walking Grind.
Yeah, the fighter, well, the Masamune at least, is level 18.
Anyway, there was a volcano dive right there that went by so fast, since you didn't need to open any of the chests, that by the time I commented on any of it, Kevin was dead. Now looking at the other runners, everyone has been through Earth, and I see that Rex has got pretty much everything. Yes, they're in go mode. Again, just need to go through all the dungeons, punch all the fiends. Well, sword all the fiends. No, sword is not the standard verb for that, but whatever.
English is like that, where if everyone knows that an item does a specific thing, you can use that noun as a verb. To sword something is to cut something with a sword.
Yes. McLean probably tried to check for an overworld grind, but the hero run was just too long. And now diving Sky, and once they get their hands on the Oxygen, will be in the same situation of just go mode, just speed through everything else. And Franklin is a tiny bit behind, having just come out of Waterfall, so they go over to Coneria, check the locked chests, find out that the chime is in there, and follow after McLean. Rex took on some slimes as part of that walking grind, and kind of demonstrated the how much you can feel the absence of nuke, since those slimes took some effort to go down with just Harm 4 and Fire 3.
Yeah, slimes tend to be a little burly. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to take them down with Fire 3, or at least the Beige Stick, and they're weak to fire, and it still takes a while.
Fire is the only of the main elemental types. It's the only one they don't resist, and they do have a weakness to that. So Fire 3 is not quite nuke power, but it is about the same power as Fade, I believe, since elemental bonus is a plus 50%.
Well, it does more than 80 damage, so it's stronger than Fade.
Sometimes it will do 75. Anyway, all of those contemplations on damage numbers have made me completely miss the Lich fight in your side of this race. Who knows, maybe something interesting happened for a change in that fight. We'll never know.
No, it was standard. It was Swing Masamune, Prophet.
How surprising. Now Rax is the first to head into Sea Shrine, since they've decided to go there before Volcano, and they're making the same play we've discussed, ignoring the tail, going straight for Kraken. Meanwhile, you are doing some inventory management. And I see you find the Rustic at some point, so that's the last piece of the puzzle for your melee carry. Rax is going with Black Mage down to funnel some more experience into the melees, probably. Yeah, since you do remember that life was very easy to access in levels 3 and 4. So going without the Black Mage at this point is a choice, rather than just something you're forced to do. And to be fair, it is something you are forced to do very often in C, because Stuff Punch is hard.
Yeah, Stuff Punch is hard. You don't get... The Black Mage doesn't get armor. Some would argue they don't deserve armor, but those people are rude and mean. See Franklin also holding A through some Agamas. Agamas are consistent. They're not like really high value, but if you know you can one-shot them, it doesn't take very long to grind a few out.
Yes, and the fighter party doesn't need that much experience, so just taking a couple levels to patch up your weaknesses, I can respect that. And Franklin went clockwise on Sky2 instead of counterclockwise, so that was the right guess in this case, since the Oxtail was in the very first room they checked. That would be a decent time save over everyone else.
Also note that he kind of, you looted the next room for loot. He kind of balked at the -3 on that X-Cal. A bit of a double take there. It's amusing.
Contemplating taking down those rug goals, but you learn pretty quickly that these resist almost everything. Like, time is the only element they don't have a resistance for. No,
Yeah, and Zap is not accurate enough to grind with.
The one bit of Golem trivia is that Iron Golems, they actually don't resist lightning, so if you are ever in one of those seeds where by some oddity of the flag set they are available to kill someplace other than their natural location in Topher, and you have a Lit 3 and not nuke, that's your go-to. Anyway, with all that, Scar, you're heading into Topher at 44-38, because Kraken was not that much of an issue. resetting out of that first encounter.
Oh, and here's Mechlin through Tiamat, collecting the
And-
Orb of Air.
And Rax hitting up the carry fight. And finally reviving the Black Mage. Because I see that fighter is up to 500 HP now. Yeah, that's pretty much all the levels you'll ever need. Because the 5-hit threshold with the Massa at level 25 is something that's often emphasized when beginning, but it's a bit slow to reach in a race phase. So really, the main thing you get from leveling up is HP at this point.
Yeah, HP and a tiny bit of magic defense, though I don't think the magic defense particularly matters when you get to the point of having a ribbon.
Yeah, and the gains you get from level 12 are low enough to be negligible. It's really more about just how much has built up from level 1. I see carry 2 started with Rub. Oh, by the way, Rex, right on your heels on Lich floor right now.
Carry 2 actually opened with Nuclear.
Oh, I started looking a bit too late then. Anyway, Nuclear is not quite strong enough to kill anything that isn't Black Mage in this party, so it was not much of an issue. Just use some of those healing spells afterward and you're good as new. Now Kraken. Yeah, it can be hard to find something to do with all your mages when you're trying to conserve some of the more precious spell charges for TI and Chaos. So I see that the Red Mage was just idling turn 1, waiting for some healing to be done later on.
Yeah, and does the earlier higher level spell charges flag give the Red Mage level 8 charges? Because I was under the impression that they don't get those. They're not allowed.
No, they do. It's just extremely late in the usual table for spell charges, and even with that, it comes at I believe it's 25 or 27. I'm not sure which one exactly. So it's still extremely late for them.
Well, they don't learn any level 8 spells. The only time they have a spell in 8 is when they're given one from a Blursing in some manner.
Indeed. Anyway, Tia was again not much of an issue. I see Rex is has mostly caught up, probably in part due to Harmful being a much better spell for speed and power than all those elemental spells that are resisted by everything that matters. And now that's the start of the chaos fight, with the fighter moved to start 3 to keep them alive a bit longer before the buffs come up. That first swing without any temper charges already doing 400 damage. Yeah, chaos will not last long. Now a fast and one temper, that's 371. Another temper comes up. The red mage just healing everyone up, so there's not much of a threat, just fire 3.
Yeah, I don't think I needed to cast heal 3 there. Like the damage outcome versus how much I would actually need is
Yeah, And last hit for 1000 damage, and that's a finish at 49:47 according to the stream. I should check the spoilers for the exact time. 49:46. Meanwhile, Rax is starting the same fight. The white mage, not sure what to do, just does harmful for some cheap damage. So now we kind of see the advantage of the red mage for being able to stack all these attack buffs, the fasts and the tempo a bit faster on the chaos fight. Because harmful, sure it's some damage, but it will not add up to that much compared to everything the melee is doing. And the Massa is doing a quick work up chaos. That last hit was 780, and this one is over 1000. And that's a second place finish for Rax. This one.
GG's to Rax. It was a very good run.
Yep, both the runs I was focused on, G2 being in the lead and kind of the first to explore every dungeon. Very clean. That's a 50-41, I believe, from the Discord leaderboard.
Sounds about right from when I was looking at it. And Mechlin is hot on our heels in Topher. Just got through carry 2. Shouldn't be long before he makes it all the way to chaos.
Well,
and Franklin is on his way to carry. I saw he was looting the Volcano Armory. I'm thinking in search of the elusive katana. There's 2 of them in the treasure pool used in these seeds, so it's not totally out of the question to look for one, but I think at this scaling, you could just lean on the Masamune.
I also noticed those promoted sprites, so that's only runner that went for the tail, at least out of that top 4. And well, it's pretty natural when you're starting out to just want more stuff than you really need for Topher, just for safety. It takes quite a bit of time to learn to dial back on the loot goblin.
Yeah, with time and experience, everyone figures out what their sort of comfortable, uncomfortable level is, like the minimum they need to make the dive.
Anyway, I noticed that on Mechlin's side, the thief was the one swinging the Massa, so I wonder what was left on the fighter.
Oh, a sun sword.
Yeah, that's a way to make use of 2 decent swords, though the sun sword is kind of lagging behind the Massa by enough that it kind of struggles to find some damage on the higher absorb bosses, especially Tia.
Yeah, it looks like Mechlin found an opal bracelet, so the thief's higher ability paired with that, and the plus 80 HP brought them to that very comfortable 400 HP threshold. So this is a pretty good seed for thief as the primary DPS. Oh no,
Yes.
that's a light axe at this point.
I agree that the main thing that can be holding back a thief in the average seed as a carry is that low HP. And anytime I see some HP blessing, whether one of those or extra vitality, it pretty much points me toward thief carry. And with mages being slightly more powerful than usual in this flag set, personally I would have gone with my personal favorite party of thief Oreo on this. So thief, 2 black mages and 1 white. Though I see that this thief on McLean's side is lacking a tiny bit in terms of temper. One of those swings was, yeah, it's just low triple digits. But with the fighter's half, that's enough. Chaos goes down at 54-54.
Yeah, a solid third place finish, under an hour. Very good. GG's to Mechlin.
So now we only have one runner left to focus on, so we can pretty much get a play-by-play of everything. Carry not being much of an issue. Taking lots of damage from that fasted mass hate from the fighter. Oh, Carry does have nuke after that rub.
Gross. Rude. Franklin didn't deserve that.
Well, what I usually think is, at least it's not on one of the later feigns.
Yeah, that's sort of. I think Nuke really does belong to Lich, and the later it is after Lich, the more rude it is. Just conceptually.
It's one of those coping skills you end up just developing as you play lots of the rando. Like, at least it's not in a worse place, or at least the other runners are dealing with that too.
Yeah, knowing that you're not alone in the struggle is great. Like, being able to think yourself, well, I'm not the only one that has to deal with this garbage.
And did the Kraken just go down in one hit? That was a low roll for the HP.
The HP scaling is really low on this.
Yeah, minimum at 50% HP.
Yeah, so I think that puts Kraken's min roll at what, 550?
450, I believe.
450? Yeah, 4, 6, 8, 10. So yeah, so 900 for Kraken 2, 450 minimum.
Yeah, that fully promoted party not having a lot of trouble, though I did not see what sword the ninja was wielding.
I don't know either.
And now comes the prep for chaos. Putting the knight in start 4. It's pretty much equivalent to start 3. Rusing on the ninja. Fast on the knight. White shirt and swing.
Yeah, slot 3 and slot 4 are equally likely to be targeted when there are 4 targets to target, so it's not a big deal. Like if you're moving your slot 1 character there, it would be quicker to move them to 4. But moving your slot 2 character, I think it's quicker to move them to 3.
More tempers being thrown on the knight, but again, like with all the other fights, these buffs will not be that necessary, since well, with these killings, the fight should only take like 3 more turns at maximum. Six hits for over 800, I see. At this point, you can even just stop doing actions with on your support characters. Your ninja is at the maximum evade. You do not need all those risk stacks. 78 for over 600 damage. That's a finish for Franklin at 59.07.
Also
GG
sub
to all
hour.
our runners. Yeah.
Yeah, very good showing by everyone involved. That Scarcer person there, Wash. I don't know what they're doing up here, but otherwise, very good.
Anyway, Darkmoon has invited the runners to the booth. Well, we've already got one of them right here. And Rex is declining. But I did see the other two in chat, so maybe they might be willing to jump in.
Well, Franklin's right here. He's been tracking the whole time, so if he wants to speak, he can.
Oh, that's right.
But you know, the interview is an offer, not a requirement.
Of course, and it always feels a bit weirder when it's on an async and you are not just jumping in 10 minutes after you killed Chaos. And yes, as Katnip is pointing out, yeah, sub-hour for all runners, that's a good showing. It's always a nice milestone when you're... Well, some of the ducks here have been playing for quite a while, but sub-hour is a great milestone. Anyway. Anyway, it doesn't look like the ducks are coming in, so we should just...
I can interview.
Oh, hello, Franklin. And
I have a
congrats
few
for...
notes. At the beginning, I tried a strategy with the Kaizokus where I noticed that they were off the hard reset, so on my way to Elfland, I decided to grind for gold points. But then they had a nasty script, so that was annoying.
Yeah, I remember Trance.
Yeah, trance and then another stun effect. I think it was also hold.
Oof. Yeah, and random encounters like that are... The Kaizokus have a reputation from the vanilla game of being an excellent counter for early money, but really in Rando, your early money will mostly come from chests in places like Marsh or any other dungeon you dive first.
I really liked the hint for the Oxale because it told me what floor it was on. I was able to beeline straight to it.
Yes, hints are very important whenever there are random floors. Sometimes they can help narrow things down even more. Like, it's level 7, you know that's the incentive chest.
And then the last thing was my mistake of going for the tail. I knew that it had to be the tail, and I knew that it wasn't the right option, but then I thought I kind of want tail, and I went for it. And I got armory chest to justify going for it. So my lesson from this race is to not race on low sleep because I will make logical fallacies and think with my emotions.
Oh yeah, I do notice sometimes when I race a bit late at night, it can hurt.
Honestly, anytime I boot up a seed, I have to think, do I need to do this versus do I just want to do this? And half the time I forget to think about that and just do what I want to do anyways, and it costs me. So you're in good company on that regard, Franklin.
I think that's it.
All
Thank you for helping run it. Felt pretty great to get 4th place.
Yeah, that was a really good time. It was sub-hour on these flags is pretty good for someone who's still learning the game and still getting their wings, so to speak.
Anyway, with that, I think it's about time to wrap up. So for anyone who is catching this and who is new to the Rando, you can learn more about it at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, I think it is, where you will find links for actually, we can just get the links in chat. Yes. So there's links for the Discord, the invites for the for the Discord, which is pretty much the place to go if you want to learn more about the game and get some help from everyone as you're learning. It's an excellent community for that. There's also the wiki in there for any information. There's a pretty in-depth beginner guide in there. And usually we have something for upcoming events, but with the marathon over, I really don't know what's coming up.
Stay tuned. There's something coming up.
All right. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Duck Rally. And see you next week for the next podcast.